The moment a sperm whale is born, it starts to sink, and if no one helps, it won't survive. Newborn sperm whales are negatively buoyant, which means they struggle to stay afloat in their first moments of life. They're born with very little body fat and don't have the fully developed spermaceti organ, which contains a waxy liquid called spermaceti, which aids in buoyancy control. And it's not just about buoyancy, their muscles aren't fully developed either, so their movements are uncoordinated, making it even harder to stay at the surface. So they rely on others to lift them to the surface to breathe, not just the mother, but other whales working together, coordinating their movements to keep a newborn alive. And in one extraordinary case, this was captured on film. It is incredibly rare to witness a cetacean birth, but off the coast of Dominica in 2023, researchers captured the event using drone footage and underwater audio, allowing them to observe not just the birth, but everything that happened before, during, and after. Sperm whales live in tight social units, made up mostly of females and their young. In this case, the group, known as Unit A, has been well studied since 2005 and is made up of 11 whales from 2 different matrilines. These groups are usually quite separate, but during this birth, they all came together to help. Before the birth even began, the group's behaviour changed. All 11 whales came together into a tight cluster at the surface. They moved slowly, stayed close, and became increasingly active. They were also vocalising, producing structured click patterns known as coders. These aren't random. Different groups of sperm whales have distinct patterns, almost like dialects, and they're thought to help coordinate behaviour and maintain social bonds. Then the birth began. The calf emerged tail first, an adaptation seen in whales and dolphins that helps delay the first breath until the calf reaches the surface, reducing the risk of drowning during delivery. Adult females position themselves around the mother, orientating their bodies towards her. Some even swam under her dorsal fin, sometimes upside down, with their heads facing her genital slit. The mother rolled her body, and the emerging newborn could be seen with its head still inside her before finally being born. From the moment the tips of the calf's tail flukes became visible to its full birth took around 34 minutes. Within about a minute of being born, the calf reached the surface for the first time, besides the mother's head. Almost instantly, the entire group became highly active. All the whales orientated themselves towards the newborn, and it was moved between them, lifted from below, pushed across their bodies, and supported at the surface. Eventually, the calf was raised onto the heads of the adults, and this wasn't a one-off behaviour. It continued for over 3 hours. What's remarkable is that all 11 whales were involved in this care, even a 15-year-old adolescent male. A small core group stayed with the calf almost constantly, but every member contributed at some point. They took turns and coordinated their movements, suggesting this was structured, cooperative care. This kind of behaviour is known as allomaternal care, where individuals other than the mother help to raise and protect a young animal, and it's a hallmark of species with complex social systems. This is especially important for these sperm whale mothers who can dive for over an hour to feed, but newborn calves can't follow. Without others to stay behind, the calf would be left alone at the surface. The care also took the form of protection. After the birth, short-finned whales approached the group, sometimes coming within a metre. Encounters like this can be risky. Pilot whales are highly social and curious, and while they don't prey on sperm whales, their presence can still disrupt vulnerable moments like a birth. In response, the sperm whales formed a protective barrier around the newborn. At least one adult female was always positioned between the calf and the pilot whales, even from below. At one point, a pilot whale rammed the head of an adult female. When they got too close, the sperm whales responded with defensive behaviours, opening their jaws and jerking their heads. Fraser's dolphins also approached, but they kept their distance and didn't make contact. Throughout the birth and after, the whales were communicating, the sperm whales were using the coders described earlier, and researchers found that these vocalizations changed depending on what was happening, such as during the birth itself and during interactions with other species. A couple of hours after the birth, things began to settle. The tight cluster slowly broke apart and some of the whales returned to foraging, but the mother, along with the calf's aunt and half-sister, remained behind. It's one thing to read about this kind of care, but I actually got a glimpse of it myself last year. I fell in love with sperm whales while visiting Fayal in the Azores, where the surrounding waters are a vital breeding and calving ground. We spent 6 incredible days out on the water, and during that time I saw firsthand just how strong these social bonds are. Calves would often approach females returning from deep dives, porpoising towards them, sometimes not even their mothers, just wanting to be close to another adult. Calves would even nurse from other females in the group too, a behaviour known as allo nursing. To witness that kind of shared care in the wild was simply incredible. Cooperation isn't just beneficial, it's essential. If you have enjoyed this video, then please like, subscribe and share with your like-minded friends.